Hi guys, welcome back for part 2 of our workshop in which we are going to create a full female character concept from start to finish. So in the last part we went fishing a little bit, so we tried to come up with a bunch of thumbnails to ultimately find an idea for our character. And what we came up with is what we see in the top right corner of the screen right now, and that is a jouster from the future. A couple requirements before we start. For this particular video, as opposed to the last one, we're going to need a little bit more, it's going to be a little bit more advanced, so, need some sort of perspective knowledge, some knowledge of anatomy, and obviously a lot of creativity and, armor design skills, or whatever you want to call that. And so what we're going to do today is take this thumbnail and try to bring it to a level where a 3D artist could probably start to work off of. So full black and white concept. I'm not expecting this to be completely final by the end of it, but at least it's going to be really damn close to. Now, what I start to think about when I begin this step of the process is a background story for my character. Having that is going to help me big time when it comes to all the design elements of her armor. Or, for example, if you know that she is living in part of the world where it's really cold, she might not wear an armor that reveals too much skin. She wants something with fur or many layers or whatever. But that kind of stuff, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So for her, knowing that she's a jouster, she's going to need some type of jousting armor, for sure, to deflect direct hits from the spear of her opponents. Knowing she doesn't have a horse, what's going to carry her is her legs. And therefore, she needs probably big legs that are meant for running really quickly. And the little story that I have going on for her is her sport in her universe is probably similar to what we have here as what would be Formula 1 here, or NASCAR, or drag racing, or whatever, where you have a car, you tweak it, and then you throw it against other people, and then you try to compete with it. And she is probably one of those mechanics that just found those legs in the dumpster, or she bought them really cheap at a pawn shop somewhere, and she worked on them for a while, and then she's a proud owner of those tweaked legs, and she's ready to go against whoever to win all titles or whatever. But now that I have this kind of information, all these points, they drive design elements. So the legs are going to be big, long, fast. The armor is going to be kind of pointy. It's going to be, since she's going to go fast, it's probably going to be aerodynamic somehow. And maybe if we want her to be a little bit cocky, for example, we can remove the helmet to show that she's not scared of a direct hit to the face, or she's not wearing a shield as a jousting knight would be. What I try to keep in mind also when I'm at this step is the 70% and 30% rule. What this is 70% of my entire design, my entire concept is going to be resting areas for the eyes, and the other 30% is going to be more detailed, more more heavy and small design elements, where the eye is going to spend a little bit more time there to understand what's going on, and then rest in the rest of the 70% that is less detailed. What this allows is, well, as I said, for your eyes to rest a little bit, and you probably have noticed that when this is not applied, so when let's say when the character is maybe 90% detailed and then 10% rest area, it gets really tiring, and it's really hard to understand what's going on with the armor, with the design, with the whole thing. and so that's why I try to keep that in mind when I approach a new concept. Now you might be wondering, what am I doing with this armor design? Where is this going? And to be honest, I have no ideas. And this is this is kind of how I work. And I mean, unless I have a really clear idea in my mind, which is never the case, this is what I have to do. I have to do trial and error and see what works, dismiss what doesn't, and yeah, that's just how it goes. Here, what I started off with was, based on my background story. I knew that I had some things that needed to be there for sure, so I placed those elements there, and then after that, I try to make everything work together, so connect all the pieces somehow. Might not work the first time, but at least it's going to be all connected, all kind of functional. Might not look awesome, but as long as it's functional, I can work off of that. And now the step that comes after that is I take the piece that I like the best, and in this case it was the abdomen plate. I really like the lines that I had going on, and more angular shapes and some curves here and there, but really subtle. And I'm gonna propagate all of that throughout the rest of the character. What we really want to avoid here is having different shape languages throughout the same armor. So let's say having soft and round edges at the top, and then at the bottom maybe having the complete opposite, so more hard angles and straight lines, and that would just scream as poor design choice. You really want to approach this as a manufacturer. So let's say you build cars, for example, and you are Lamborghini. It makes when you think of it that way, it's really easy to spot a Lamborghini, even though you don't know the exact model that you're looking at. You can always tell it's a Lamborghini because they have such a strong shape language that they use throughout all of their lines, all their models. And this is exactly what we want to try to find here. So we want to find something like that and then apply it throughout the armor so that it feels like it's been built by the same company. Now, if after doing your best, it's still not 100% there, what I do is I trick the eye into thinking it is. And what I use for that is shape repetition. So in this case I use a triangle, and I stem the triangle shape everywhere I could on this armor, and you can see it pretty obviously. And what this does is that the brain will think that, oh, since there's a triangle there and it's a really simple shape, an obvious shape that you're really easily attracted to it, it'll make you feel like since all the pieces have it, there must be some sort of link between all the pieces, and it looks as if they all belong together. And it's trickery, but it really works, and you can do that with anything, logos, even colors, or like patterns or whatever. That's going to be the end of part 2 for this character tutorial. And so we started off with a thumbnail, and now we have this more polished 2D image that is ready to go on part 3, where it's going to get colored and complete, polished until completion. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in part 3.